Dimer.
Oh my God, you caught that shit, Jesus.
I'm like that. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Kdotdagawd, and I got another guy for y'all. And this time, we're focusing on the goalie aspect of Rematch, because to be honest, some of y'all are trash, and I'm tired of ranking up with y'all because y'all are selling my games and y'all making me D-rank. So this is for the people that's either new or aiming to be an elite rank player. These tips will help you become a wall between the posts and maybe help me or lead your team to a W like my boy Gagamaru from Blue Lock. So let's get into this guide and let's dive into it. All right, y'all. First up in Rematch, the goalkeeper is literally the last line of defense and often the difference between a win and a loss. Believe me, I know. I'll be playing in ranked, I'll be getting cooked, my teammate be in a goal, and I'll be getting fried. But there are different goalie styles as well. I'm not sure if people know that. The first type of goalie style is the safe space, which means you're staying on the line. You found your safe space. You're focusing on reflexes, saves, and, just aerial balls just to try to save the team. That's what you're focused on. The next up is strategic, which means you're the type of facilitator or player that's going to communicate, that's anticipating and distributing the ball cleanly and getting to your teammates to set up counterattacks and going crazy that way. Last but not least is the aggressive. This is the type of goalie that leaves the box and wants to become the sweeper, wants to, get any through balls, wants to be able to, help set up attacks, maybe counter attacks. But they're the type of goalies who's back here playing the sweeper and reading and paying attention to any defenses that's coming through. Now, with those different styles, you want to adapt your style to any situation. You might have to be a mix of these three. You might have to be maybe just 2 or 3 of these types of styles. But to be a good goalie, you need a good mix of either that safe and strategic, safe and aggressive, sometimes strategic and safe, strategic and aggressive. It just depends. But those are the 3 different goalie styles. But next up, we're going to talk about some of the core mechanics and controls of being a goalie. All right, so y'all, the basic controls of being a goalie. Bring it to me. So off rip, we got the stand-up shots. This is the main pass a lot of you guys use when you're playing ranked or quick matches. I don't know why you do it, but sometimes it is a good pass. I don't like it because it allows the defenders to either get there and trap it and make a counterattack, or sometimes it's never really on dot of a pass. Next up, we got the dive. With that, if you have a Steam controller or you have an Xbox controller, it's Y, and the left stick, you can dive left, you can dive right, you can dive back, you can dive forward. Next up is the short dash, which is really the extra effort. You're really just using that to try to get somewhere where you wouldn't be otherwise, so that's the extra effort. And if you ever want to get the ball, you just LT or L2 to grab and secure the ball. You're able to dive out there and get the ball if you need to. And if you get into the space of the ball, you will automatically grab it. But if you dive out the way, you will not be able to save it. And that's anywhere inside this box. A lot of you guys leave the box and become sweepers. So like I said before, set up plays, be aggressive and everything like that, but you're not that good. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you're not that good. You're learning, you're living. I get it. But a lot of people tend to cross. A lot of people like to come out and be sweepers and go super far out past, certain lines. For me, when I'm a goalie, I like to stay between the slow clap and Nova on this side, depending on what, just depending on what map you're using. But I like to use this as a guideline, or maybe we can count it out as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So maybe 10 lines out. This is where I like to play sweeper at. This is where I will be safe. I feel comfortable. I feel like I can get there and get a through ball, or I feel like I can come back and still get to the box if need be. A lot of people end up crossing the half, or a lot of people end up just facing somebody one-on-one and getting slide tackle or getting the ball stolen. So I try to stay between 8 and 10 when it comes to those lines. But let's talk about some of the positioning and anticipation, since we were just talking about that. When you are playing goalie, you most definitely want to always stay centered relative to the ball. What does that mean? If the ball is on this side, I want to make sure I'm still in the middle here so I can dive left or I can dive right. I'm gonna call the ball back. If the ball is over here in the corner, you do not want to be right here, because at this point, I know some of y'all be trying to bait people into this shot. We're gonna talk about that later, but that corner shot is so easy to get a shot off in this corner. So if somebody's right there, you still want to be right here in the middle, which is relative to where the ball is. So you can still be able to make that left or right dive. You know what I meant, left or right dive. But yeah, next up, we always, when the ball is wide, you want to cover 2/3 of the net. So again, if the ball is wide, you want to make sure you at least here or over here, so you can cover more space. Those are just simple, typical goalie stuff. Some of these times, y'all like to rush their attacker. Some of the attackers are maybe out here, maybe at this, second or third line, and you guys like to leave the box and go dive. And that's okay. Sometimes it's okay because there aren't many skilled players like that, especially within ranks or depending on what rank matches you are in. But you guys need to realize that sometimes if you do the dive, they're just going to rainbow flick into the goal or go over your head. So you kind of want to bait them and make them and anticipate some of those passes that go into shots or some of those rainbow flicks, what have you. So you kind of want to just make sure that you don't get overly aggressive, but also make sure you're still being very, very focused and paying attention to what the defender might do. So like I said before, we want to work on some of those shot stopping techniques. We want to work on those low saves, which are perfect for blocking ground level shots, diagonal shots, some of those low passes, which you really don't pay attention to because people are now getting smart and starting to pass to the goal instead of shooting, and it gives you a chance to react fast and stay low. Some of those aerial challenges, some of those crazy wall cross shots, only go for crosses or corners if you're sure you'll reach the ball. Otherwise, stay back. Don't go too far trying to extend. Don't go too far trying to get out there and be a hero, make a play. And it's okay. Some of us might need reflex training. You get to practice with unpredictable shots to build quick reactions. So go to the practice mode, go to the goalie challenges, and react with some of those practices and those tutorials. And then when it comes to the 50-50 balls, that is when you use the extra effort. If you don't know what that is, that's the light blue stamina bar next to the yellow stamina bar. And that's going to be able to allow you to win contested balls and gives you priority in close situations. Now, in those close situations, we talk about some of those one-on-ones. You want to close down the angle by stepping out, but don't overcommit. Again, you kind of want them to go past that white dot that's in front of the goalie line. That's where you want to start baiting them and making them make a move. So it'll help you turn down some of their options and angles. And you really want to make sure you're staying big by using L2. Use L2, get in that defensive stand, and force the attacker to make the first move. Utilize the extra effort to get any wide shots, any tall shots, long shots, high shots, whatever you want to call it, so you can get there and make that extra stop to get the counterattack ready for your team. And I know some of y'all probably hate this. I know, I get it. But y'all have to organize the defense and the communication. It's okay, especially as a goalie, you're not doing much, but you can talk to your defenders as long as they're using a voice chat. Talk to your defenders, organize them to cover passing lanes, organize them to, get the cherry pickers and prevent any risky one-on-ones with just you and one attacker. Because when you get those good communication, it prevents bad positioning and keeps your team coordinated, especially after a mistake where you're feeling bad, you're feeling low. It's okay. You communicate, you get to stay focused, because great goalkeepers recover quickly and don't let errors shake their confidence, especially when you the main goalie. You the last line of defense. You cannot let that get to your head. Next up, let's talk about some of these advanced tips and mind games. Because if you really like that in sports games or just games in general, you know there are always a game inside of a game, whether it's basketball, baseball, football. There's always another game being played inside of another one. You get to subtly shift your position to invite a shot to one side. So what I like to do, I like to go to the left side and force them to either shoot over where there's wide open space, or I know they're going to try to go for that corner shot because that's the easiest spot to get once you're very close to that corner. So now I know there's only two ways for them to get a shot going, and that helps me guess, anticipate, and really talk to my teammates of where I need them to be if I can't get there. And it's okay. Sometimes you can use feints. You can run around, use LB and LT to make sure you're running around just to get a defender, weirded out or confused to figure out what you're trying to do. And that way it'll make the shooter second guess, and it'll stop them from making that first decision. It'll just work. It'll just work. When you're distributing, use the lob passes or the roll passes. Don't come to goalie. Don't help nobody. Just be outside. And you got to communicate with your team and adapt your style to any situation. It means staying calm under pressure and always being ready for the unexpected, which means those crazy crosses, those crazy headers, anything like that, you have to be ready. And remember, a good goalkeeper makes spectacular saves, but a great goalkeeper rarely needs to, thanks to perfect positioning. Practice these tips, and you might be the backbone of your rematch squad. You feel me? So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know if this guide actually helped you become a greater goalie or not.